Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So two new festivals were announced like yesterday for Master Duel. So let's take a look. I'm not going to, overlook the second one being an Exceed and Fusion festival. I think most people already know what to run. Most decks are viable for that one, Fusion decks, Exceed decks. So the other one, it's giving me a headache. I have no clue what to run. Most of the time, I have like a good feeling, it might be something like this or that. Most of the time I prefer playing like going second decks. I think most people do, blowout cards, evenly matched Lightning Storm, Kaijus, get those quick wins, or easy wins, right? But now again, I have no clue what to play. Like so many decks have been, hindered by the ban list for this event. Like featured archetypes as well, which is kind of strange. I mean, it's kind of okay. They want to hit like the obvious good decks for this event. I'm looking at Tri Brigade, for example, Black Wings, because it's a wing beast slash event. Slash as an insect and reptiles. I mean, initially I thought it was going to be something like that kind of an event, or a reptile event, a bug event, but it felt that, Konami wanted to, make sure that there's just more decks to play. So they probably added more like beast, wing beast, and so on. So before we continue, let's take a look at the loner decks first. The loner decks are okay-ish. Big weakness though is that all of them, they don't have Maxi, and Maxi sadly is legal for this event. I'm not a huge fan of Maxi. Like the reason, or one of the reasons why I like these events is that you can, play something different compared to the usual stuff on the ladder. The mini games, the Maxi mini game, do they have Ash, called by, that stuff. And it's always a breeze that these kind of events don't have that. But seeing that Maxi is legal, Ash is not, because obviously Ash is a zombie. But I mean, for this event, Konami definitely could have banned Maxi, but it is what it is. And none of the loners contain Maxi. And the first one being Fire Kings. This one is okay-ish, but sadly we don't have the new support for Fire Kings. The support that just got released in the OCG, the structure deck. But it's okay-ish. I guess for these kind of events, the deck is kind of okay. Because again, when destroyed, they'll get those beneficial effects. And for these weakened events, it's kind of hard to, destroy or, get rid of Garanix without destroying it or triggering it. The second deck is more of, insect deck, I guess. It feels like a little bit all over the place. I'm not a huge fan of this one. I mean, looking at Giant Ballpark, that's obviously a cool one. It's definitely an option because it's so cheap. While the third one being Ogdoadic Reptiles, it's also definitely viable if you have the cards. Looking at Ogdoadic, rank 8, rank 4 engine, Reptiles, more options in the side, extra deck, right, being, their links. So there is definitely something to do, or, something going with that particular deck, but... again, I'm not so a huge fan of the loners this time, but let's see, for the potential decks, I have like a huge list of potential decks. Let's start off with, I think, the biggest deck for this event, and that's B-Trooper. I think most people expected this deck to be, well, it's obviously an insect deck. Actually, I have none of the B-Trooper cards. I haven't played B-Troopers on Master Duel. I know the deck. It was also a rumor that, we might get a secret pack, maybe upon release of the event. That's like tomorrow, I think, or the next day. So who knows? Maybe containing the B-Trooper fusion. I don't know. No clue. This is just speculation on my part. But it kind of actually... It could make sense, them dropping like an insect-oriented event, and with B-Trooper in there, it's definitely one of the decks to beat. Maybe even the best deck, simply because it's pretty much unharmed or unhindered, right? As for the other potential, or these other options, Black Wings. Well, the thing with Black Wings, I don't even have them on screen, is that some of the good cards are, banned? Like Black Whirlwind is at 1. The other Black Feather continuous spell is banned, I think. Full Armor Master, the level 10 Synchro, I believe it's Full Armor Master, is also banned. And the level 7 Synchro is also banned, if I'm not mistaken. So, like Wing Beast, and Blackwing is banned, or pretty much all of the good cards are banned or restricted, so it's so hard to run Blackwings for this event. And then another option, probably the first option that came to my mind, and that's running Zodiac. I'm a huge fan of running Zodiac in these kind of events. Super simplistic deck, super simple. Trident is legal at 1, as it has been most times. Shakanin is at 1 though, and big problem now with Zodiacs is there is no Zeus. But most of the time you could make that up with, adjust that a little bit with Vespenato, the rank 4 machine type, and run that Barrage Trap that pops multiple cards, but that's a machine. So sadly not allowed. So pure Zodiac is not an option, but Another beast or wing beast oriented archetype is Tri-Brigade. So Tri-Brigade definitely has some fuel left. The Tri-Brigade lost Revolt, their big soul charge, which is... yeah, obviously, otherwise it would have been far too good. Oath could be a replacement for that, but Omen is still there. Omen is still a very strong boss monster. Other options, Fractal was semi-limited, if I'm not mistaken, and Kuras. Kuras limited to 1 definitely hurts. And their level 1 is also banned, so that's kind of big, because again, Kid cannot send it to the graveyard, eventually Alpha Fractal. Normally you would get a Surge, but nope, it's banned, so sadly not possible. It's also a Wing Beast. And that kind of hurt as well, you know, not being able to make those Link 3 plays far more easier with, you know, a bigger engine for Tri-Brigades. This one, but I don't have it. Rescue Cat, a superb starter for the deck, you know, looking at Tri-Brigades, right? And I'm looking at Melfi's as well, maybe with Nimble Beaver, looking at the extra deck. Again, I have none of the Melfi's. Looking at this one, the number 64, Ronin Raccoon. Also a fantastic beat stick, again, like those are okay beat sticks, but you know, it's not something super strong or over the top. Speaking of Beast Warriors, I guess Lyrilisk is also an option to play. I mean, it got hindered as well. Cobalt Sparrow was semi-limited, and I believe their spell, indeed, Bird Call, was limited. That's a big one. It's a big hit to consistency. I guess you could still go for a potential OTK when going second, for example. I'm not so sure about that, because again, the consistency, it's a big consistency hit, but maybe Lyrilisk combining with other hybrids, like, you know, Tri-Brigades, maybe even Zodiacs, maybe that's something to try out. Other options, let me take a look. We talked about Beat Trooper as one of the decks to beat, probably. Full extra deck as well. Beast Warriors, Bujins, it was mentioned. I guess Bujins, but I don't think most people have Bujins. Looking at Fire Fist, again, like in a very similar situation, I don't think people, or most people, have that one, even though I think both decks are unharmed, you know, speaking of the ban list. But again, those are, I mean, do you really want to craft those cards, or, you know, get the packs, you just want the gems? So I think most people just want to either pick the loner or, you know, play something weakened that they already have. So looking for, you know, budget alternatives, right? Again, looking at Insect, maybe Giant Ballpark, Dot Deck. I mean, there's stuff like Small World that's still legal to kind of increase the consistency of your deck. Evenly Matched is banned. I think that's for the good, even though I was a huge fan of this, of that card, you know, in these kind of events. Pot of Avarice, again, is legal for something like Zodiac to, you know, send back your Trident back to the extra deck. So that's all definitely an option. Speaking of insects, Trap Tricks, that's an insect deck, but I think Sarah is banned and the archetype suffered more hits as well. So again, another super top tier deck getting hit. Hit a lot, an overhit I feel, but again, that's my personal feeling about that. Speaking of rank 4 exceed, you know, the other event, I believe Luna Light is full power for the other event, but I think the only hit for this event, the King of the Island, is Kaleido Chick. That one was limited to 1, but I think the Tiger, etc. is at 3, I think. So that's kind of big, with Techie at 3, again, those are definitely all options. Callby at 2 is definitely a staple, and sadly, I'm not so sure about Crossout, because, and do you really want to main that Crossout for that 1 Maxi? Maybe. I mean, Imperm is there, Talents is there, Lightning Storm might be popular, you know, people going second, slapping Lightning Storm at 3 into their decks. We talked about, you know, Bujins, Fire Fist, Gladiator Beast is also pretty much in the same boat, I feel. Some people might have that, could play that, even though one of their big bosses is banned as well, I think, the new one. But I guess Tamer is there, Heraclinos is there, Gazaros is there, so I guess it's okayish, but the deck also suffers from the same weaknesses, and, you know, people main decking Lightning Storm, that's kind of big against that particular deck. Not Tribegan, but Scareclaw is an option, but, I mean, what is it, Rykard, the level 4 warrior is also hit, so, you know, right, it just gives me a headache. What should I run, what should we run for this event, if you don't, you know, have like B-Trooper, right, obviously, you just play that, or even maybe Ogdoadic for this event, you know, just play Reptiles. So yeah, short set to conclude. What am I going to play? I'm probably just going to stick with, like Beast, Wing Beast, looking at Zodiac's small Zodiac package, Tribe Brigade as well. Omen is still there, Oath is still there as a strong sender, off of Kit, Big Monster Reborn or a Monster Reborn. Fractal is at 2, Tanky is at 3, so that's okay-ish, but Maxi I feel kinda hurts a lot. And maybe slapping in some Kaijus for this one, like it's an Omni Towers invincible cards, you just need to main deck stuff like Kaiju. So let me know, did I miss any decks? Did I miss any options? Definitely let me know. I probably did, but feel free to let me know. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Leave them signing out. Peace.